Right, so another interesting question from a viewer, and this question was asked a couple months ago, so I'm late addressing it, but I want to address everything ultimately. This person was asking whether the ocean theory applies equally to the solipsistic INFJ and to the spiritualized INFJ, or do we need a sort of different theory, ocean theory in one case, ocean theory or different theory in the other case, or two variations on the ocean theory that are kind of part of the same meta theory but without actually tracing, or representing the exact same theory. Two different kinds of vocabulary, in other words, okay, depending on whether we're talking about a spiritualized INFJ or whether we're talking about a solipsistic INFJ. Just as a reminder, in case there are viewers here that don't really know or remember what the ocean theory is. So first of all, I would not say it's a theory, because I haven't really articulated it as a full-fledged theory, but it's more of an extended metaphor or analogy to describe the inner landscape of NI dominance, not just INFJs, INTJs to NI dominance, the inner experience of an NI dominant being oceanic, right? Where there is a lot of slow movements, sometimes faster movements, like waves, like calm, things blending into each other, no neat categorizing of things, no clear-cutting distinctions, right? So this is part of why it makes sense to say that the NI-dominant experience is transtemporal, transspatial, that there is a tendency to see continuity in things, similarities in things, rather than discreteness, rather than separation that you see much more in the SI process, okay? So there's an oceanic nature to the NI-dominant experience, and I think that there's also a strong link between this oceanic experience and the experience of the child in the very early years of life, although I haven't yet got to a point where I can explain why this feature is retained in the case of the NI dominant, whereas it doesn't seem to be retained in the case of the SI dominant or the NE dominant or the TE dominant or the FE dominant, okay? Nevertheless, once we accept that this is not a theory, it's more of an extended analogy to understand the mind of an NI dominant, can we use the same words of the analogy, of the metaphor, to describe the solipsistic experience of a withdrawn type of INFJ, as well as the, arguably, on the surface at least, different experience of the spiritualized INFJ, the INFJ that has individuated. We don't need to use fundamentally different words, okay? We don't need to use fundamentally different metaphors, because the experience of the NI dominant can be captured using the oceanic vocabulary, regardless of what kind of INFJ you are or what kind of INTJ you are, all right? It's precisely what allows us to have some level of generality, instead of saying, all INFJs are different from each other. Yes, they are different from each other in some respects, but in other respects, they share some essential features, including sometimes features with INTJs, such as the oceanic experience of the subjective consciousness. The difference between the solipsist and the spiritualized INFJ is not in the oceanic experience. It's in the fact that the solipsist experiences a very strong disconnect, a rupture, a discordance between the oceanic experience of their inner world and the regimented, rules-based experience of externality. And it's a discordance they find so painful that they tend to want to avoid it, withdraw from it. The spiritualized INFJ has managed to find an attunement between the particular rules and particular forms of the external world and the more oceanic structure, or lack thereof, of their inner world, particularly by doing something, by becoming masters of the craft of locating what I call interstices in externality that allow for particular moments of connection, attunement, right? Concordance, not discordance, but concordance between inner and outer. Okay, let me know in the comments what you think, give me a like. Don't forget you can support me on Patreon. I need your support more than ever to continue producing high quality content. It's not a lot of money every month, and you get access to cool perks like the Discord server, bonus videos every 2 or 3 weeks on a topic of your choice. And don't forget my 2 books, Ecstatic Soul, Infinite Soul, The Mind of the INFJ, The INFJ in the External World. These 2 books are must reads if you haven't got them yet on INFJs. All the links are below. See you soon, guys. Thank you and bye-bye.